Dobrý večer, vítám vás na diskuzi s Miklošem Peternákem, Atilou Čorgo a Milošem Vojtichovským, které jsme pozvali u příležitosti spuštění nového projektu na ohradě Muzea umění Olomouc, která zaclání vlastně proluku, na které by v budoucnosti mělo stát SEFO. Ten projekt Atily Čorgo, který je vlastně od včerejška na ohradě přítomen, tak je už vlastně třetí projekt z nové série výstav, které jsme zahájili v období lockdownu. První z těch projektů byl projekt skupiny Biskum Album, olomouckého kolektivu. Druhý projekt navazoval na festival Akademia Film Olomouc a vlastně ten Attilův projekt je třetí z té série nových výstav. Samozřejmě ta nová koncepce pro ohradu vznikla, jak jsem říkal, v době lockdownu jako jakási alternativa k výstavám, které byly zrušeny nebo respektive pozastaveny uvnitř institucí. A kromě toho teda, že jsme se rozhodli prezentovat ta díla na ohradě jaksi v ploše, tak počínaje tím projektem AFO, který skončil minulý týden, jsme se rozhodli zároveň vstoupit ještě do dalšího rozměru, do virtuálního rozměru a vlastně prezentovat projekty pomocí systému AR, Augmented Reality, rozšířené reality, a vlastně i vy, návštěvníci, kolem jdoucí, si můžete pomocí svého mobilního telefonu po stažení aplikace, návod je vlastně ve výkladci vedle ohrady, si můžete prohlédnout vlastně další projekty, které ta rozšířená realita skrývá. Já bych se nyní asi, nebo ještě takhle, celý ten projekt ohrady a vlastně těch výstav, které jsme zahájili, je součástí přehlídky Triennále, která v Olomouci v podstatě už probíhá od loňského roku, kdy nějaké návazné projekty a výstavy vlastně proběhly už v galerii Cezar a na dalších místech. A ten hlavní program Triennále SEFO bude spuštěn 24. června a bude pokračovat až do 2. ledna 2022. Součástí bude série výstav jak v hlavní budově muzea, tak v dalších galeriích ve městě, ale také vstupů ve veřejném prostoru, série přednášek, debat a dalších doprovodných programů, které se budou následně odehrávat částečně vlastně přímo v proluce SEFO za ohradou. Určitě sledujte web Muzea umění, sociální sítě a tak dále, abyste se dozvěděli o tom projektu více, a já myslím, že se můžeme pustit do té dnešní debaty. Já s dovolením teďka přejdu do angličtiny, protože ta dnešní debata bude celá vedena v angličtině. So I would like to introduce my three guests here, Mikloš Paternák, Atila Čorgo, and Miloš Vojtichovský. Attila is the artist and the author of the realization for the ohrada, for the fence wall, and the selection of why we chose Mikloš and Miloš is actually because, or for me at least, it was the main reason to connect these three people, because in year 1994 they all met at the Plasy Symposium in monastery for monastery in Plasy in Western Bohemia, where Miloš Vojtichovský organized a festival or a symposium of metamedia, multimedia art, intermedia art, And Miklos, as a curator theoretician, collaborated on presenting Hungarian artists and also Attila Cserga between them. As I found out a few minutes ago, Attila and Milos met at a different occasion in Amsterdam, where they both met in I believe early 90s or late 80s. And that was for me like the point of departure for this connection of these three persons. I'd like to now make a short introduction about all three participants. Attila Cserga belongs to a strong generation of Central European artists whose artistic career developed mainly after the fall of the Iron Curtain. His work regularly appears in international exhibitions and in the collections of major foreign institutions. He creates kinetic objects, dynamic installation, and complex instruments in which he freely crosses the thin line between art and science. His primary interest remains in the object, its surface, volume, and internal structure, but the way it is researched is deeply analytical and scientific. His work thus combines precise thoughtfulness with playfulness, chance, and also like improvisation. Attila Cserga attended the Academy of Fine Arts in Budapest and studied at the Rijksacademie in Amsterdam. His work has been exhibited at many museums and galleries around Europe and worldwide, and he represented Hungary at Venice Biennale in 1999 and again in 2017. And he currently lives and works in Warsaw. Miloš Wojciechowski is a curator and a researcher. He graduated in art history and aesthetics from Charles University Prague. And since the early 1980s, he has been involved in independent music, visual art, action art, and curatorial work, first in Amsterdam, where he initiated several art projects and lectured about Eastern European art. Then he moved to Czech, where he founded the Center for Metamedia Plasy at Plasy Monastery. He initiated the Hermit Foundation and curated the collection of modern and contemporary art at National Gallery Prague. He lectured on media art, contemporary art, and communication studies at the Faculty of Fine Arts in Brno, and further at Center for Audiovisual Studies at FAMU in Prague. He's one of the initiators of Vašulka Kitchen Center in Brno, and he lives in Prague. Miklos Peternák is a curator, writer, lecturer, film and video artist. He's head of intermedia department at the Hungarian University of Fine Arts and director of C3, Center for Culture and Communication, which started in 1997. Miklos Peternák studied history and history of art at LT University in Budapest. He received his PhD in new media, art and science, and was a member of the Béla Balázs Studio and the Indigo Group. He worked at the Hungarian National Gallery and at the Research Institute for Art History of the Hungarian Academy of Sciences. He has produced several films and videos during the 80s and published widely on contemporary media art and history. He has also organized numerous exhibitions and events. He currently lives in Budapest. So that was pretty challenging, but first I would like to ask Attila to present his works and to tell something about the projects that he worked on and yeah, his artistic career, let's say.
Thank you very much, Jakub. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for the opportunity to have the wall and to participating in this evening in this talk. What you can see in the wall is a part of a larger series. I try to share my screen. Yeah. And while I preparing this, I try to say in general some words. So as you mentioned, I'm busy. I work with geometrical problems, kinetic problems, optical things, motion, transformations, how shapes change, and got another set other arrangement. And I do this with a lot of technical media. I build structures. I write programs trying to achieve things what I imagine. And yeah, so this wall piece is belonging this occurrence graphs series. I started in late 90s and finished a few years ago. Actually, these works are based on such optical phenomena like interference that you see this curvatures, this white curves on this disk. So this is a position when the machine, it's a motor-driven construction, is switched off, and then we switch on, so it's spinning. Then the interference, the crossing of these lines make a regular shape. If you switch it off, then you have these lines not very regular. They don't remember regular shapes. But if they cooperate, then a regular shape comes into being. So other part of this series, these lines, you can't predict what will happen if they cooperate. That was a point. So it has two phases, the switched on and switched off, and they are very different. Okay. They produce an infinity sign in the middle. Technically, it's because in this part where the disks overlapping each other, the light, there is a lamp behind the disk. The light can come through only if two curvatures cross each other. Then in this little hole, the light can come through. But the crossing points are calculated by a program I wrote. And therefore, these shapes quite precisely appear. But so they look like on the left photo in an exhibition situation. They are open structures. People can see everything. Nothing is hidden. It was always important for me to have to make open structures. But it's a little video. Oh, this sound. I have a triangle, but I want to have a square. So I add a new corner, stretch a bit, and it's ready. So it's a very schematic way how to make from one geometrical shape another one. But if it's more complex, like in the wall, the fence in Olmütz, then it makes additional shapes. A triangle appears, and then cracks or disordered metamorphoses appear, and then square, and so it's repeated. So it was important that regular shapes are interconnected and in between there are irregular shapes. And I used this effect in other works too, but it was somehow always important what connects the regularity and how they are regular things are connected through a seemingly irregular path. So the photos in the wall, they are sequences from this piece. So here there is a little speed difference between the rotating disc. Therefore, the crossings change in space, and this film, a strongly cinematographic effect comes into being. But the idea comes from a much earlier work. That was the solid of revolution. This is a terminus technicus in geometry books when we rotate something around an axis. Here, two long screws mounted to a motor, rotated, and a virtual cup glass comes into being. And people can switch it on and off, and so it's a glass, switchable glass, appears and disappears. But there is a stripe inside, not inside, but where it's a question. It's an interference phenomenon. Only appears where the two screws optically intersect each other, so cover each other. Because the inside is always bright, outside shadowed, so therefore the shadowed side covers optically the bright one, and a straight line is very visible there. So I wanted to do something with this straight black line, because on the one hand it was so present, so visible, and the other hand it was so you can't grasp it. You don't position where it is. It is somewhere in between the sticks. So, and following this logic, I arrived to this occurrence graphs, this rotating disk. So sometimes the way of the creation is not sometimes, quite always, always it's not a straight line, but with many curvatures and tests and experiments and success, and sometimes not. So sometimes I work with very abstract ideas like the disk before, but there are works more related to the everyday situations. Like here in the inner spaces, it's 1 kilo Emmental kind of cheese, and I wanted to find the holes inside and making the whole structure visible. The whole structure, this is the holes cast with resin. So it's a kind of, so it makes visible what you can't see because it's inside the cheese, but there are this hole, we know. In a certain sense, this is a sculpture of the absence, because in the cheese, there is no cheese, this is the hole. And another larger series dealing with the Platonic solid. The Platonic solids have a special position among the shapes in the geometry, because they are regular solids. There are only 5, and they have a nice historical background coming from the old Greek civilization. And there are simple properties that from two, let's say, two tetrahedra, we can make one cube because they have the same amount of edges. And I tried to make these additions by using kinetic tools, and a bit influenced by Buckminster Fuller's structures I met at that time. And this was the first one, Platonic Love. You can see that it was realized with very simple tools and a lot of provisional technical solutions. But finally, quite precisely, the machine could make this transformation from cube to tetrahedra and vice versa. And the problem with this works, the maintenance, because the poor technical solutions are a benefit on the one hand because they are much more intimate than a high-tech machine, but on the other hand, they need a permanent maintenance. But the cars need maintenance too, but they were produced in factories. Or a more complicated one, top model, where three shapes unite, making one bigger icosahedron. And in a certain sense, it's very related to this occurrence graphs, the disk problems, because here also we can see a very disordered, or here a much more disordered situation now. If you switch off the machine, then you don't know, you don't predict it has anything to do with regular shapes. But then this chaotic character will disappear, and here icosahedron comes into being, and it will go back again to the other regular scene. And I work a lot with maps. I like cartography, and I have a lot of projects. It's the last one. It's not finished. It's on work in progress. Here you can see a map from the 19th century made by a German cartographer, August. So it's an August projection. It's a nice map, this cycloid borderline and big deformations at the sides. I photographed my studio and put together the image as a sphere and made a world map using the August map projection calculations. And you can see on the left side, on the top, this blue square. This is on the ceiling, this tape glued to the ceiling. And but it's a kind of anamorphic effect that the logic of the calculation arranges it to a square from one point of view. But if we change the position, if we change, for example, the beginning of the mapping, like the Greenwich longitude would go away, then it will, like here, it will change dramatically, let's say, other shape comes into being. The real shape in the studio at the ceiling looks like this. And yeah, I made a little animation how it is changing. So I like these problems. Calculating something, it has a relation to the spatial problems, the mapping. So it's a presentation of the space in plane, which is always a problem, especially if it's spherical. And then added an additional effect with this changing square on or not square, depending where it is. Another changing with the square, it's squaring the circle. Of course, it's not it's just a visual solution for the old Greek problem. I wanted to have such optical sculpture where the light coming from above reflected by a spatially curved mirror, and then touching a circle in the space, and then making like a shadow, making a square on the floor. And it needed a lot of calculations and a lot of tests and materials. And finally, I made this, actually made it, aluminum mirror, chrome plated, so very well mirroring. And it could make this transformation of the circle to the square. But in conclusion to this problem, another shape came into being too. This flower-like mirror shape. It was necessary to have it. It's a consequence of this problem. And so I wanted to have only two shapes interrelated, but I got another one, a third one. It's maybe here you can see better that where is the lamp, where is the mirror, where is the circle, and on the left side, on the right side, this image shows if we intersect the way of the light, then we get this kind of shapes in between. So once I had a presentation in Germany in Saarbrücken, the art school, and one professor showed this project, said that this is the squaring the circle is the fundamental task of the artist. So it was a funny situation, and it was much more humorous, as I say now, and the laughing happened. But I was very happy about this comment. So this is the short presentation of my works. I tried. I have much more works, of course. I wanted to try to show some different corners of this much more complex, like a polyeder, what I make, different approaches. But somehow they are connected, and basically very similar problems are at the core of them. And at this last piece, the squaring the circle, so I am very happy because one copy of this piece is in Paris at the Astroparticle Institute of Astroparticle and Cosmology. And so scientists see it, physicists, and sometimes Nobel Award famous personalities, and it's there as a public space piece. And it was very interesting to have this collaboration with them, because normally artists are living, moving, showing their works for other artists. This is a typical problem. But time to time, such situations can happen when somehow the audience is different or more other doors open. So
thank you, Attila.
That was it.
Thank you. I think it's actually perfectly illustrates the thin line that the theoreticians often write in connection to your works, the thin line between art and science, and that it also transferred to the audience actually. Thank you for this presentation. I would just add one thing, that if you are interested, you can find, or you can watch some of other Attila's works via the AR system on the wall. There are some 8 videos that Attila chose for the wall. So yes, you can find it there. Maybe I'll now make a little bridge and show one more work of yours, if you let me. And this is a work called "How to Construct an Orange," which was prepared, or which was shown at least in Place in 1994 at the Hermit Symposium, as I said before, organized by Miloš and collaborated by Miklos. And this is a piece which is in old granary. And now maybe I would like to skip to Miloš and Miklos, or better to join Attila to talk a bit about Place, about their connection there, about how it all happened, that this sort of island or autonomous island in the 90s appeared in Czech Republic, and then maybe just to skip to further topics. But let me first maybe ask Miloš to talk about the genealogy of the collaboration of 3 of you that led to showing How to Construct an Orange.
Yeah, thank you. As you mentioned before, I met Attila without knowing it is Attila when I came for some kind of open doors event in the Rijksacademie in Amsterdam. I was living since 1985 in Amsterdam. And as you know, in Holland, there are many art institutions, among other, there are a lot of cheese and art institution and a lot of artists. And one of them is Rijksacademie, which is kind of postgraduate educational institution, probably supported by the state, by the Rijks. And they have very international program. I mean, that you could apply for a residency there, or stipend for maybe 1 year? Attila, have you?
I spent 1 year, but it can be 2 years.
Yeah.
1 or 2. But
Okay,
not more.
And then I used, when I had possibility, a free time, I went to see what the students are doing, and then I saw an installation by Attila, which I think consists of, if I remember well, it was 93, falling sand and light stream on, and so we started to talk, and I learned that he's from Hungary, so he's kind of brother of Czechoslovakians, and it was 93 and 92, or actually 91, I started to plan to organize an event in Czechoslovakia. Then I found this kind of empty Baroque monastery in Plasy. And 1994 was actually the third summer symposium, very anarchistic and turbulent culture, whatever event, and where Attila came suddenly with a suitcase, and the suitcase he had this installation. He installed it in the granary. I think he spent only a few days because he couldn't spend longer time. Some people stay there for 2 months or 3 months. Some visitors didn't want to leave, so we had to push them out in the winter. And I think now that I'm not sure if I managed to send the installation back to Attila. But probably I did. Maybe a little bit.
You did. Yeah. But in a
bad shape
condition.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, it's a very fragile work, so it's it happens all the time. Yeah.
And the visit and the participation of Attila Czörgő was supported by some Hungarian institutions, which probably was the department of the media art on the Art Academy, which was founded by Miklos. And maybe the last sentence would be that this idea behind this secluded shelter in the monastery was that it would be good to connect, to kind of get rid of the borders and the languages and the political system, and to create something which is kind of anti-border. And so it was very international. I think most of the people who came there, especially in the first 2-3 years, they came even without being invited, and some of them stayed and did something and helped to organize the space. And what was actually interesting, that for almost 20 years, nobody was interested in this story of Hermit Foundation, and only last 2-3 years, people started to ask me about it, and now I'm invited to talk about it even on the Facebook, which is incredible. Yeah. But back to the simple idea. It was in a time when, in the beginning of 90s, when at least I and probably more people were hoping that we are going into the new epoch where we will get rid of all kind of constraining structures and control systems and whatever. And the art will become much more important power in the society than it was since 1938, you know, so from the beginning of the Second World War. But looking back, it was quite naive, and actually it was also only a few years in the beginning of 90s when we have been actually powered by this vision. So I would like to finish with this statement.
Okay, thank you, Miloš. Maybe we can now move to the collaboration of Miklos, because we talked about it before, that a certain institution from Hungary actually supported Attila to create a piece, or to go to Place and to create a piece there. So maybe another question concerning this, let's say, institutional or semi-institutional practices in the 90s in Hungary. What were the activities behind it, and how did you actually manage to cope with artists and to support them?
Yeah, I completely agree with Miloš that the 90s was a bit different than the decades afterwards, but otherwise it's normal, all decades are different. And we were lucky to survive the 80s and be happy with the 90s, and now a little bit sad in the last starting decade, not only because of the virus, but there are diverse reasons. Anyway, I have to tell you that Attila was among those students who were strong enough to force the Hungarian art school, at that time high school, in the name it was university at that time as well, so to force the university to change its old-fashioned style. So there were several students, but 10, 12 were the most active and the most clever and in a way organizer of this small revolution. So this revolt happened from the late 89, early 90, and the result was that after the changement in the high-level politics, when the new government came, the staff, the teachers decided to really make something and invited new teachers, new professors there, 15 or 16, and I was asked to shape or form or animate a new faculty, but that time I called intermedia. And also my friend János Sugar was also there, and the most talented students from the university joined to the intermedia. from different faculties, painting, graphic art and sculpture, and we started to act as if this new faculty really had a mandate to function. However, we did not have it, but the application went to the ministry and they were thinking about, and slowly, the intermedia at 93 was established as a real curriculum or a real faculty. But during this 3 years, we were working as if it, however it was normal, would be a real faculty, and at the same time when the official permission arrived, the first diploma exhibition was also organized. And I guess this work by Attila, the pneumatic orange work was part of his diploma work, so presented in the first intermediate diploma exhibition. He made also a photo series and also a nice text besides, but this was part of it and was exhibited in the Academy of Fine Art. So it also meant that we were strong in propaganda and activity, and also trying to find support for the students to go abroad, and invited people from abroad. Practically, it was that period till late 93, early 94, when Hungary was interesting. And a lot of people came without invitation. So, for example, Terry de Douve was there and made a lecture for us for free. And Woody Vasuka later, Peter Weber, and so on and so on. To tell the truth, there was not a big interest because people did not know who are these guys. So it was not full. But those who were brave and careful enough or dedicated their own time to these people could learn a lot about it. And that was also the time when new initiatives were grown up or just formed themselves from nothing. There were such official or unofficial organizations or groups also in Hungary and in the surrounding countries, but also at the Netherlands as well, in Amsterdam especially, or Rotterdam, where the V2 started. And these new art, new institutions or new groups with artistic interest, they realize that there is a big change nowadays in the level of communication and in the level of the so-called media tools, and more change their thinking towards the digital era and the net era, forgetting the old phraseology of video and experimentalism. That's why it was, from different aspects, very interesting and very and an area which influenced quite a lot some of the students and artists as well. However, at the end of the 90s, things were going to change towards a new type of ideology, the so-called creative industry came. and those who earlier gave support and attention towards such activities, so that no, it's time to make money, so let's forget it. Anyway, the intermedia was definitely behind this cooperation, because our illusion was also to create something in the region, to make more connection, to focus on the middle of Europe, and not always to look far to America or Canada or Great Britain or Germany and so on, but to focus on the region. Not too many successful initiatives were made due to the lack of money and so on. There were no Visegrad Fund at the beginning, but some were successful. So, and not only Slovakia and the Czech Republic and Poland, but also Croatia and Serbia. Of course, there was the Yugoslav war, which made the situation more dense. It was near the border, so we were focusing also on these countries and these artists. But to tell the truth, such initiative was never strong enough in a long term. But to tell the truth, I am very happy to see again and again in different countries that this idea came up and give birth to diverse new projects. The Bro Center, for example, in Poland, or your museum, Jakub, also focus on this important topic. So maybe such is the Middle European life. There is a kind of sinus line which relates to Attila's topics as well. So very happy to hear that you made Attila philosophical toys to the real astrophysics scientist, as they were responsible themselves for it in the 1830s, but then gave up this media approach. But no, again, they became interested in these artistic issues. So it's nice. And I don't know whether I should stop or start to speak about the given title or topic of this meeting, which is related to time. What do you think, Jakub?
I think you can or we can switch to this topic. Maybe I will just have one or two more questions concerning these points that were somehow disseminated in the Central or former Eastern Europe. Do you think, or do you think that there are some that could, because of course there are some that survived, that there are some that were limited only to the 90s and then were for certain reasons cancelled? There was also, of course, this Plasy Symposium. There was the Trans Art Communication in Nové Zámky in Slovakia. But for example, then there is the C3 that continues actually from the 90s on. First, like, can you tell us also a bit about just very briefly about C3, and where do you find the reason that it can last for so long, and if there are some similar organizations, institutions that you find like important in the region?
Well, maybe it exists because we were not brave enough to close it. So SriCube has at least 4 layers. The initial period between 96 and 99. It was a 3-year fully financed big project with 3 different tasks. So there was a task for the internet dissemination. There was a task to follow up the Soros Center for Contemporary Art Documentation activity, and there was a task, the new C-Cube's task, to create some bridge between artistic, scientific activity via the computer. So to test the new tool and act internationally and invite people and produce new works and exhibition. But it was said from the very beginning that it is the 3-year when it's fully financed, and then a new entity, a new foundation can be made in case if these 3 years were successful. And it happened. But unfortunately, the wish of the Soros Foundation, which was one of the founders, that after they withdraw their support, the local government or the state or some firms will understand the importance of such an institution and support it further, which did not happen. But as in the meantime, the law changes, which changed several times, and we initiated a very successful technical project, a free mail service, which is the first mail service for free in Hungary. It was bought by the Hungarian Telecom, and those people, 3 guys practically, who invented or created, were responsible for the further development and support, which gave how to say, monthly basic income. But the foundation cannot make business. So we had to create a small firm which does this. And practically, I forget to mention that from the end of 99, from the year 2000, some tasks were over. So the dissemination of the internet project was over. So we were not obliged to make this. It meant that we had to send away people to CC. There were more than 40 people at the beginning and during this period, but around the year 2000, most of them had no possibility to stay because there were no money to finance them. And the big shock was that the local government, the first district, the castle, hired up the monthly fee of the building that we used so enormously that at a certain point we were not able to find enough money to pay. So they did not support us as a cultural institution known internationally, but intended to pull out some money. I remember when 2 guys from the local government came to C-Cube and look around, there are computers, they must be rich. So that was the problem. So we had to move at 2005 to a place where we were able to pay for the rental fee, but to a place where there were no public spaces. So we lost the gallery, lost the library, lost the auditorium, lost working spaces. Only offices was there and some cellars for the library, the rest of the library and the archive for the books and some bits of pieces of that. And, you know, we were there till 2017 when we had to move again, and gave the library to the Ludwig Museum and the doctoral school in a small town in the south, and the furniture to whom anyway, so we made a big step to give up this situation again due to lack of support. Only the video archive and the net activity exist. We are in a nice place again, but only in 2 rooms. But no, it's because of the small firm we created and their activity in this level is sustainable. So I have no income since 10 years from that, so I am free to do what I want in this environment. And with this project, there are sometimes 1, sometimes 2 part-time employee who is responsible for 2 ongoing projects. One is a competition for children, the Shape Your World, freestyle computing competition, which happens annually together sometimes with 3 other European initiatives, Ars Electronica first, and there's German and the Swiss one. And we have an online magazine and a catalog. So we have at C-Cube site, which maybe I can show if you share my screen. Can you share my screen?
You have to share it yourself.
Yeah. Share the screen. Okay, share the screen. Yeah, it's the project we C-Cube made together with Milos, but now I show our main page, which is since 97, the same form. And what I intended to show the catalog where you can find all the videos and artworks which was related to C-Cube, the huge video archive. You can search keywords and types and so on. And it is related to our collection, which is here. We did several art production for exhibitions, and there is an event site. The easiest way to browse at the C-Cube server is to go through years, and in 97 we made a Fusser symposium together with a small exhibition in our gallery where 4 artists were invited. Attila as well. It is he. And practically when we met Milos in Prague, what he organized this with the Goethe Institute, I think it was also related to Flusser. It was not a Flusser conference, but there were people from that Flusserian era, Siegfried Zielinski and other. Do you remember, Milos?
Remember. It was called Excavation of the Future.
Excavation of the Future. It was an excellent, brilliant meeting with a lot of... Yeah.
It was actually initiated not by me, but by Jaroslav Anděl.
But you were together.
Yeah, we were together. Yeah, it was kind of like a media archaeology framework. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Was it enough regarding C-Cube? Or you have more questions?
No. I just wanted to continue because the how do you say it? Media archaeology.
Media archaeology, yes. It's all common field with Milos. Secret friends of us.
Okay, maybe I will have one more question. Whether maybe for Milos more, whether Plasy, because it seems now that it all were somehow connected, and that the network, the communication between similar kinds of institution worked somehow during the time. Were there other different institutions also in first in Central Europe, but also like in Western Europe that you collaborated with and that supported the artists who came to Plasy, or was Plasy more of a, as you said, like anarchistic and let's say independent event where
I was just talking about the first 2 years, or maybe not, actually 2 years, 92, 93, and then it became very organized. Not really, but it was possible to find support by the little bit like international institution, like European institution, but national institutions, as Goethe Institute or British Council or Finnish Embassy or whatever, American Culture Center. And there was important network, which we didn't really talk about before, but was the Soros Open Society, and under the Open Society, this network of Soros Centers for Contemporary Art, which have been in like Central Europe, like the first and main alternative culture structures, alternative to the state, let's say, structures. So it was. And they've been, because of kind of policy of Soros and the director of the network of Soros Centers for Contemporary, they have been forced to collaborate. So if there was a possibility to support somebody from, let's say, Ukraine or Russia or Hungary to come to the other events in the different countries, they usually did support it somehow, probably not very much is a big amount, but they supported the travel and maybe accommodation in Prague or whatever. And I think if you look on the archive, on the archivist of the Center for Metamedia on the page of Augusto Foundation, there is like one item which covers, I'm covering like a longer text, which I'm trying to recall what was the broader network or broader context of my kind of conceptual way of thinking and even practical way of thinking. So I think there is not really much. It's too complicated to talk about it now, but I think that after 89, there was from both sides the Iron Curtain, there was quite a lot of kind of adventurous thinking people and who've been curious about what is on the other side. And the quantity of foreigners who were coming to Czechoslovakia in the beginning of the 90s was actually incredible. I think there was maybe 30,000 Americans living only in Prague, and there've been a lot of refugees coming from ex-Yugoslavia. So I believe that not maybe Czechoslovakia, but definitely Prague was really international, kind of cosmopolitan city in this time. Not so cosmopolitan as it used to be before the Second World War, but there was definitely a tendency to fill up the gap of let's say erasing of the Jewish population in the pre-war period. So yeah.
Thank you. Miklos, you wanted to add something? Sorry.
Yeah, I want to add something because I guess it's time soon to finish, because it became and I think that I talked not too much about Attila and his work, and now I want to show you why. Yes. How to share this? Share, yes. So there was a very nice exhibition in Budapest not so long ago, and for those who speak English or Hungarian, this online e-book or PDF is accessible at the New Budapest Gallery site. And in this, I think I wrote everything that I could about Attila's work, and I am very happy with this possibility and with this text. So I strongly propose this exhibition catalog from the New Budapest Gallery to you, and though I verbally was not able to express the time mystery of this long poster, however I prepared to it. I think for everybody is much better to have this book either in ebook form or PDF form, and read it. So, and thank you, Jakub, for the invitation, and I'm happy that I was able to see Milos and Attila in a flat but active way. So this is what I intend to add, and I think I cannot say anything more.
Thank you very much, Miklos. I think we'll put the link for the book online on the website under the information about Attila's piece. I would also like to thank to Milos and Attila for the presentation and the discussion about the works. And I think we'll have opportunity to meet actually in person, hopefully soon, and hopefully within the project that we are now also collaborating on, and that's the New Media Museums that C3 is also a part of, and also the Vro Art Center and PAF Olomouc and Slovak National Gallery. And it's a slowly developing project. the responsible person behind it is Dusan Barok from Monoscope, and we can now share like at least a part of the project, and that is that we are planning a colloquium for the beginning of 2022, and would like to invite many different guests from all different institutions, as well as artists and curators and so on. And so I believe we'll meet there at least. We just need some time to organize it. And thank you, gentlemen. It was a pleasure to speak with you, and thanks to all who watched and followed us. Good night.
Thank you very much.
Many greetings, Attila.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Nikos.
And many greetings for you.
See you later.
See you soon, then, as Jakub told.
Okay.
Thanks to Kamil Zajíček as well.
Thanks to Kamil.
Okay.
Cheers. Ciao.